Hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Whew. Oh my goodness. So, if you guys came from my story and you clicked on the link, this is my page. This is my YouTube page. And basically, or my TikTok. Uh, you guys, something major is happening in my life. And I've been thinking a lot on what I'm doing, you know? Everything in Saipan has been so stagnant, like nothing's happening. Industries dying, people leaving, even Americans moving to other countries, like to immigrating to Canada and Europe, and so many things are just happening. And and it's kind of like a dangerous world right now to be a trans woman in this new regime. Rights are being taken away. You can't even serve your country if you're a trans woman. Like there's a lot of things that's happening right now that's kind of like making you lose the idea of hope and finding happiness, in a world where you have possibilities, like your dreams, right? The idea of the American dream, where is it? So I've just been thinking a lot on a lot of things. What I'm gonna do. I'm 36 right now. I'm 33 years old, and it's my third anniversary. It's my third anniversary being 33. I'm forever 33, girl. That's it. That's it. Sorry, not sorry, but yeah. I'm at this age where I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? I have so many ambitions. I have so many ideas on what I wanna accomplish. I'm so ambitious in a sense, like, I'm just a born entrepreneur. Like I was raised in this entrepreneurial idea of creating something, creating wealth. This American idealism of getting that American dream and finding yourself in there, and but then right now it's kind of like scary being a trans woman and investing into setting up a business and creating wealth in a country that is kind of like attacking you. So I just like, oh gosh, okay, where else can I go? Like where so many Americans are like moving around and they're traveling to other countries, especially like trans families, families who have trans kids. A lot of them are like looking to Canada and Europe, or like I think like Europe, right? A lot of them are like looking into, or like digital nomading, finding ways to like escape this new regime. And I was thinking about that as well, and I've always been questioning. I have this. So I'm going to be real with everybody. I've just been having this sense of like, depression and in finding. I mean, I have like two basically identities, right? I have like being a trans woman, and then the other one being like understanding my culture and who I am in my lineage, right? And so I was just thinking of like, okay, where can I go to like invest in my companies? I have Yummyland Presents, which I'm very passionate about. Many of you guys, my friends and family that has tried my tacos, my gourmet tacos. I have new ideas actually on production of a new item for Yummyland, and two new items that's going to be presented. I have this business idea that I want to create into hopefully be manufacturing, because I want this to be like vacuum sealed and then sold in like freezers and refrigerated. Besides having like a tent stall and catering, like that's my future for Yummyland, and like fun like tacos and basil lemonada drinks and corn elote. That's like the meal. And 2 new items coming up. So like, there's that business, and then I have the other business which I'm creating with um, a, a friend of mine, that we're creating something with AI in tech. And so, and I know many countries are looking for people to go to their country and invest in creating their innovation in AI and in any form of tech. They would give incentives. There's a lot of investments in there. So I was really looking into areas that like I could put my efforts in, and government and investor rich VCs are looking for companies that can establish themselves, either it be in Australia or in Canada. And then I was really thinking about Spain. You know, Spain looked very attractive to me. So mainly because I could learn Spanish. I have Spanish blood, from the Philippines. Like, so like I felt like there's like this sense of connection maybe in Spain, and then they have really good incentives on AI investments and AI websites that creates technology within like a European market and extension from that. So it's like looking into that, and I could easily go there as like a digital nomad, and like work on my AI, find invest VCs, because I've already been working on my website. It's like close to like, I'm nearly done with my MVP. So MVP is a minimal viable product of what you're creating, and in the most simplest form. So I can put it out to market and find and to check if there is a product market fit. And I'm nearly there. I'm creating this AI technology of, I'm gonna let everybody know what this is. But it's in AI, it's in that industry, and it can be in a very global format, for small businesses, for nonprofits, for government agencies, for individuals. Like individuals mean like influencers. So it's in this vein of control with AI, and to help in the most easiest way for creators. And this is what I'm creating right now. So I was looking into that. But then I came up with a YouTube video. I came up with I think it was like a vlogger of some sort, and it was about the Philippines. And I was like, okay, let me watch this. This looks interesting. And it was a vlogger like experiencing the Philippines for the first time, and it was in BGC Manila. And I saw it, and if you guys like look on YouTube videos right now and you look into BGC Manila, you look at it and it looks like New York City. It literally looks like that. And I was like, wait, Philippines looks like that? That's the Philippines? Like, I thought the Philippines was like, like you get conditioned in in growing up. And this is kind of like in a horrible way, but you're gonna get conditioned as you're like, as a child, as you learn things about a country or some of its people, like you get conditioned to like have it screwed in your head, like kind of like in a sense brainwashing, through media. And you get conditioned to like the idea, like at least for me, like how the Philippines is. So granted, when I was like, like I was like raised very American. Like my dad is Hawaiian, indigenous American, he's Hawaiian. And I was just been raised like the American standards of education, but also having such a strong influence of island folk with the Chamorros and the Rifeloash people, and like, welcoming my family in, my Filipino Hawaiian family, like coming in here to Saipan. And when you're growing up, like all of the conversations that you get presented through the media, And like around you about the Philippines is like, it's dangerous. It's, like if you stick your hand out in a taxi and you're wearing a Rolex, you're gonna get your hand chopped off. And like, people saying it's like dirty and all of that. And you're conditioned as a child, okay? And you're being raised in this mindset of like, in your household, you do not speak Tagalog or Visaya, right? Like you're conditioned to just speak English and understand like the American way, like it was always like American breakfast, down to that point of like setting the child up to being conditioned to being raised in that certain way. That's how I was raised. So, it was in this mindset of thinking like, oh gosh, the Philippines, it's kind of like scary. I would never think of that. But then I see this video of BGC and my eyes was blown away by the development of Manila, and then I fed into it, I was like, oh my God. So it was like what, like a 20-minute video. I was like, I need to look more, and so like, you see the next videos are like similar videos to that. And I dug further in. I was just watching more things about the Philippines, from more videos about BGC and like condos and the cost of living. That's another issue here in Saipan. We get like double the price in the States from gas to food. So like the cost of living, I was like, oh my God. And then it looks like that. There's like pools, there's outlooks on like a clean city. It looks so clean. There's like, there's a lot of like security guards in this area. And then you go further in, right? You go further in, you watch more videos of them outside of BGC, and you do see some of the slums, but then the number one thing you really notice is like the people, and what you see with the people is like this kindness, I mean, I'm watching this from the perspective of as a foreigner. I'm watching Americans, I'm watching Europeans, Australians, just people like visiting Manila or Cebu, Siargao. I never knew about Siargao. Like I was just so ignorant of the Philippines. It was just so foreign to me. So when I looked at it as a foreigner, I don't speak it, I don't understand it. And like, I just saw the Philippines as just that narrative, right? That narrative that when you grew up of what the Philippines was. And I'm gonna get deeper into the politics of that, and I can see why. And it was like me during the 90s and early 2000s, that's all I heard about was that the Philippines was like a dirty country, and crime and corruption. And the history has been there, it was seen there, but then suddenly something changed, right? Like what's happening at the Philippines is suddenly there's a growth in there, but then there was also still a very much sense of still living the Filipino way. And I'm gonna explain that sense deeply now. Ever since I've been here, I've always been like my identity was off, and I always thought maybe that was just because of me being trans, but it was deeper than that. There was a sense of like not understanding why some people don't be like how I am, or like this other side of me where it's been rooted, that's still here, just hidden, or like just a silent type of my side of myself that's always there. And then understanding the American ways is just like, it was like a conflict. It wasn't making sense to me. The idea of the American and then the idea of what it is to be Filipino, because I was raised American. And when I went further into that, I'm watching these videos and I'm watching the people. And I was talking to my mom, and she sends me this video. And I'll send the link if you guys ask for it in the comments below. I'll send the link. But it's on Facebook. And it was I think that the word is labuong. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but when I watched this video and it explained the concepts of being raised differently, of what your blood is, the root of your people, and you see the difference. It was mind-blowing to me, making me understand who I am as a person. I've always been like lost in a sense of depression, of not understanding why I can't be like these people, why I'm disconnected from them in some way, where like it's just not giving me being proud or being happy, and especially in the current situation that we are in. You know, it's just like, I'm just not connecting. Why am I not connecting? And it was because of the concept and the idea of labuong, or whatever that word is. You know, it's when I understood what it is to be a Filipino, is the idea is to give. You know, there's no word or definition of I or me. It's always about we and us, and to give and to share and to welcome and to have some meal, you know, come have some food, or come, let's sing karaoke, right? Or like let's go swim. It's always has been the Filipino way, and that's one of the things I've always been like proud of my people, the kindness, you know, of what it is to be a Filipino. And when I watch these vloggers as a foreigner talk about my people like that, when they start saying like the beaches are gorgeous, it's as beautiful, as pristine, as turquoise as it is. You can see from the bottom in some areas, the caves and the canyoneering and the forests and the waters and the lagoons and the freshwater lakes to the oceans and the seas, and swimming with whale sharks, and the food and how amazing it is, and the big cities and all of its grandeur, and how tall the skyscrapers are, the beautiful parks included in the city to making it feel green and healthy and clean. What tops that? You know, the whale sharks and the Philippine eagle and the beaches and the big cities and the developing cities and the historical things in this whole thing. The number one thing that the foreigners saw was the people. You know, it was my people showing the Filipino way, right? And it's always been like that. Like, I feel like I've missed that. Like there was a shift in me that lost what it is to be Filipino, you know? The teachings you get from your lola, right? Like I think at least everyone tells me, and my heart tells me, how close I was with my grandmother, like mommy. We call her mommy. And the last time I saw her, I was like 5. And the conversations I had with her, it was very not Filipino. You know, I think the conversation was about me, about wanting what I wanted, as being selfish and wanting things for myself, being raised that way. because I wanted a laptop or something, I think. It was my last conversations of her. And then when she passed, it was like, I don't know, it was just, I was losing my identity. Like, I was just not understanding who I was when I'm being raised this certain way from home, from school, from the TV. All concepts of media was American. And my friends, we were mostly focused on friends that were American. You know, I had very few Filipino friends. And whenever I was with Filipino friends, it was always in English because I don't speak Tagalog. And I've always been just a very like restless, you know, I felt like I've always, like growing up, I've always just been restless. I've just this yearning of finding this other person of who I was. And it took foreigners, vloggers, you know, to see what it is to be Filipino and to be proud of your history and understanding that you know, Philippines is, okay, so after the vlogging, I looked into the news. I needed to look into the news. If people who know me, I'm very much into understanding definitions and question things and just educating myself, because I can honestly say things where if I am ignorant, I will say I'm ignorant. I do not know, but I do want to. I'm there, you know, I'm there now. I'm there. I'm in, you know? And when you see like all these ideas that's happening now, you know, as I develop further to looking into like loving like the beaches of Mobile and Siargao and oh gosh, there's so many. Palawan, I want to go there. I want to go to Baguio. I want to, like, you know, all of these places that these foreigners have been going to, and experiencing my homeland with so much love and passion that they want to move there and live there. And I'm like, what the hell was I doing? I should have checked more into it. You know, I'm 36 years old now. So like, I look further into the news and, you know, the whole situation with the Southeast, with Southeast Asia, with the Philippines and China. And then there's this sense of like protectionism, you know, as a Filipino. It's like when you start seeing another nation like throwing water blasters to your people, it kind of like hurts you, right? As a Filipino, you kind of just like, don't do that to my countrymen. You know, it kind of becomes like a proud Filipino person. It's just like you don't like that, and you watch more news about further insights of what's going on in the country, you know, where we're at. And the biggest things is infrastructure. I looked into it, and there's about like $136 billion right now in investments in infrastructure. They're building a new airport it's called New Manila Airport, and they're building it a little bit further out from Ninoy Aquino Airport. It's just to handle the amount of industry that's happening in the country. So whenever there's like news or like rates of like comments about Naya, like saying like, oh, it's such a horrible experience, it's one of the worst rated airports in the world. But you have to understand this, educating myself, Naya is only supposed to be like conditioned for 50 to 55,000 people a day. That's the max capacity of how many people are supposed to come in there. There's 100 to 150,000 people a day going through Naya. So when you understand that, then you understand like, okay, so maybe it's just over capacity. And that's why there's some faults in some areas. And so they're building new infrastructure, and that's the new airports. And then they're building a lot of trains, a lot of subways, connecting from the airport subway. There's literally going to be subway connecting to the airport. I mean, that's pretty amazing. There's going to be new highways, multiple highways, to build more connection between different areas of the Philippines, so it gives more breathing room for traffic. So one of the things, the issues with the Philippines for me at least, was three things. And this was like the beginning as I was learning about this thing, was like, okay, as I'm reading into the news and understanding, like seeing from the videos of vloggers to like the news of local Philippine news and everything that's going on, the issue that the way for the Philippines to really succeed as like away from like the whole third world nation, or moving up the GDP to build the economy, to have a foundation of middle class, for all the people. There needs to be strong, the three things. I mean, that was just my idea of what, as I was watching all the news and the people, the vloggers in there, is they need to have good governance. After watching a lot of news, there's a situation with corruption. There's an issue of mass murder. There's just there's ways of like, ways that hinders the growth of the Philippines, So good governance should be number one. When there is good governance, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Like, worlds can be abound. You can go to outer space. You will create innovation. You're going to create technology beyond measure. And with these news that I'm about to tell you, the natural resources is there. There's just all there is advanced. So you look into that, right? So then I'm like, okay, so good governance. There needs to be good governance, because after that you need to have good infrastructure. When you have good infrastructure, like the things I just said, it will build foreign investment interests. So when there's good infrastructure, foreign investments are going to start flooding in. They're like noticing, okay, there's a good government structure where it's foreign investment friendly, and the government in itself is pro-business, and it's pro-build-up, and it's pro foreign investment open. There was an issue with foreign investments coming in, was compared to like Thailand, to Malaysia, to Indonesia, is compared to other Asian nations, the Philippines gave only like a 60-40% ownership of foreign investment. So foreign investors would be like, well, I'm throwing up so much of this money, but I only own like 40% of the company, whereas my Filipino friend will own 60%, or like my wife, or something like that, right? And they use that subsidy in a sense to use to cover that area of ownership, to build corporations and stuff. So after that, so when you understand, like, okay, so foreign investments equals to, because of good infrastructure, right? So as that grows, that builds the GDP, that builds the economy, that builds industry, right? So after that, the next step is, for me, is an exciting population. So good governance, infrastructure, population. When there is a sense of population within the people, when you understand, this is crazy here, this is the information I'm giving you. When you understand that 65% or 65% of the population is under the age of 35, 36, it gives you pause. Because then that tells you that this population is hungry. A majority of the population is hungry. They're hungry to innovate. They're hungry to start businesses. They're hungry to be an entrepreneur. They're hungry to make something of themselves, where it's showing and it's growing where they're tired of how life is now. You see the people and you see these kids in these markets selling like from pieces of little cakes to sunglasses to like little girls like with like towels and be like 5 pesos, sir, and so it's like she's like probably like 7 years old, and and they're understanding that to grow is to work, and to grow is to not just accept the status quo. This population is growing with this age, that 36%. I'm 36, girl. I'm 36. And everyone like below me, like under us, is just like, we're in this. We're growing with infrastructure. We have good governance. The pathway is there. And you understand that the people wants this. We want to grow out of it. And the biggest thing for me was like, okay, when you start to see and understand that suddenly an area of the Philippines and different other areas of the Philippines has oil and natural gas, trillions of dollars worth of oil and natural gas right there at the Spratly Islands in Scarborough Shoal, and then the other one, and different other areas near Palawan, and I think in some other areas in the Philippines where they found natural gas and oil reserves. And Philippines has been known not to really do much to extract its resources, like compared to like Malaysia, Indonesia, like they're extracting oil, Brunei, all of the other ASEAN nations, that's what they're doing, but Philippines hasn't been really doing it. And then there's an issue right now with China, and doing that to because they want to control this area about this whole 9-9 line, but lost contestedly in at The Hague. It was, I think, just the 9th anniversary that we won the case that these are our islands, that we should be able to use what we have in our economic zones, and why would you question a country that's trying to defend itself? Every country should have and to be able to defend themselves. And if we have suddenly a higher Navy stance or a higher Air Force stance, we should. That's our right as a sovereign nation. Understand this, everybody. When you start thinking about the Philippines, you need to understand this. We are a young nation. As a sovereign rule, we are literally so young. We are only, I think, like 70 or 75 years old as a sovereign nation. From 1940 something, we were given our independence to today, 75 something years old. Before that, it was like 1600s to 1940s. That's centuries and decades of years of colonization. We didn't know how to govern ourselves probably anymore. We were before as tribes, and then we entered colonization by Western way of living with the Spanish and then America, and given our independence in like the 1940s after World War II. When you understand this, you understand why the Philippines maybe needed that growth. You know what I mean? What happened in America when the Civil War? I mean, how many years was that from their creation to then, right? And right now, I mean, what the hell's gonna happen there? There might be even, a civil war. Who knows? That's what the media is saying, right? And it kind of gives you pause and like being there. So it's kind of like a perfect time to leave. It's like, the situation in Germany when it's like, when you watch like World War II movies and you're like, why didn't they leave earlier? They knew things were rumbling, things were happening, things were moving in motion. you're gonna lose your rights. And then they still stayed in the country and things just finding ways to escape. So understanding all of this, it starts to make you think there's growth here, you know. And then you watch a lot of Feature. I've seen this YouTube channel, Feature, and you start to look into really of the people and the food. That's one of my dreams too. I don't know if you guys know this, my friends that are watching. My bucket list in life is to go to every continent. And I don't want to do this cheaply. I want to like go to like really good, expensive Michelin star restaurants and experience the food, but then also go to a bar and meet locals, and then get introduced and like get invited to dinners, and then experience that exact like elevated food to like its humblest form, and understand the way of cooking and the history of that and the culture of that. And that's just my interest. I think people who know me understand like my work with like Let's Learn with Fellow Wash to Ketungu tomorrow, Let's Learn tomorrow to Finu tomorrow, you know, with the Miss like the great Lumi Bermudez, right? Like she was like my mentor, and understanding like you should have pride of your people, understand your culture, know your language. And that's what I was raised by. But I was disconnected in the people who I was, you know? So here's the plan. Through all the conversations, the plan is I want to move to the Philippines and have that as my home base to start my businesses there, because this is really exciting. I'm going to tell you about it. And then after that, because I want to go there too, besides business, I want to know my culture. I want to know my language. I want to know my people that I haven't seen. I want to touch the waters of Cebu, where, you know, my family is from. I want to go to Manila. I want to go to Davao. I want to go to Tawi Islands, you know. I want to go to Baguio. I want to feel the cold areas of Baguio. I want to go to the strawberry fields. I want to go to the underwater caves or the underwater caves of Palawan. I want to just experience. I want to witness a Philippine eagle, and I want to build my business there, and understand my people. And I want to do the whole lineage thing. I want to understand my history, and after that, it's probably gonna take me with the ancestry thing. It's probably gonna take me to Spain. So I'm gonna go to Spain, and then from there, I was gonna move to, I was gonna go visit from Spain, understanding my culture there, then go to Hawaii and visit my dad and understand his family. So I want to understand the Hawaiian life and understanding all of these people. And then, but having my base in the Philippines, because the cost of living is so low. And when you have a business, I understand in the Philippines, to garner wealth, to create industry, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to create something that people need. And here's a clincher, okay? Here is the clincher, you guys. So understanding the Philippines, where the trajectory is, and all that stuff that's happening right now, all the good things, right? I can own land. I can own land there, you know, and I can build up my business there and create like a dominance of my industry within the population of like, I think it's like 115 million people in the Philippines, and create like leading this area of space where it's open, because it's so new right now in the Philippines. Every investment is new. And here's the understanding part. Here's the thing that got me excited as well. ASEAN. Girl, when you understand ASEAN nations, suddenly things look higher. Suddenly things go rumbling in your brain, and you start thinking, okay, ASEAN, what is that? You're probably wondering what ASEAN is. This is through my research of understanding where the Philippines is and how everything's going. ASEAN is basically a block of Southeast Asian nations, which comprises, I think, last time I checked was like 10, but no, I think it was like now 12 or 11 nations. So that's Thailand, that's Indonesia, that's Malaysia, that's Singapore, the rich Singapore, the rich Thai, Indonesia, everyone, Brunei, all these things. And okay, sorry. So the exciting part is, it's like, okay, you think domestically, you're obviously gonna focus domestically, giving your effort and starting your entrepreneurship um, in in your industry. So then, okay, so you understand that, but then you start to look at it this way. Okay, 115 million of Filipinos, that's a really big industry. But then when you think ASEAN, that's 650 million people. And get this, Indonesia is the other nation that's also its population is like that of the Philippines. I think younger. So these people, this nation is hungry of buying things online. They're very tech, okay? And they're very tech, and they're like, oh my God, okay, let's create this business. And I'm just like, so because my products that I'm trying to put out in the Philippines, the businesses that I'm gonna create is I'm gonna set it up in a way where I focus in the Philippines, and after that, as growth continue with Yummyland Presents, with my food and catering and manufacturing, that's one of the things I want to do with Yummyland. I want to do AI and expand that to ASEAN. And because the current situation is with ASEAN nations is there is free trade. I don't know if you guys know this, but ASEAN nations, with the whole situation with America and the trade situation, ASEAN nations believes in understanding its people and understanding to grow as one like block of supporting nations. You have to be open. You have to welcome industry. You can't cut its legs. And with how the Philippines is, it's about it's about us. Let's help each other. And so right now with ASEAN nations, there is free trade. There's free trade there right now. So my products for manufacturing is exciting. It's fresh. So one of the concepts of what I'm trying to do is I want to build my product thinking of the people. One of the things I'm going to change into my menu with my tacos is, after watching a lot of videos, I want to taste batuan. Like, it's this kind of vegetable that has like a sour agent, and I want to use that into my tacos. And those who've had my tacos, girl, you know that I'm gonna put like a good it's supposed to be sour. So those who had like my tacos, it can go from really sour to like just like I made the slaw that day, so it's not that sour. So the vinegar hasn't seeped in. But batuan is like an indigenous vegetable or fruit, I don't know what it is, but they use that usually for soups to put sour in there. But then I think I can put that into my slaw. And then there's the Philippine corn in my meal plan in Yummyland. If you choose a meal, you get a corn, elote, but I can use indigenous Philippine corn. So that's exciting. I didn't even know about that. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna find basil and lemons that's like indigenous in the Philippines and create my basil lemonada. And so that's a meal. The new one I'm gonna create is, I'm gonna let you guys know. So one of the things that I'm doing is, so I'm moving. So I'm gonna start my businesses in the Philippines. Started off there, I'm gonna start an enterprise. And then from there, there's gonna be 2 divisions. It's gonna be more businesses because I plan to do so much more. Yummyland Presents, and then AI, my AI tech company, that I'm gonna have it be based in Cebu because my mom's from there, my mom's family's there. And I wanna set it up there. And one of the best things about Cebu is they're very pro-business, they're very pro-investment, they're very pro-tech. And one of the things I looked into was the tax incentives if you set your business in Cebu. So you need to understand these things and just like see like where it's at, what are the regulations, all of these things. And I love the privacy protections and the investments. So this is the thing I'm talking about. There's a lot of VCs and investors in the Philippines right now, and most of them are actually based in Manila. I think specifically Makati or BGC. And so I would need to like set up my business in Cebu, and if I have to create another business to get the investors in Manila, then I'll set up a branch in Manila, and have it be in BGC. But so like, I want to create the business that way. But here's the thing. As I've been watching like videos of the people from these vloggers, these foreigners, the vloggers, I've also watched Philippine vloggers as well, which has been very entertaining. You know, like after watching all of this and seeing the people, it hurts you when you see your people living in slums or begging. It does hurt you. But then you got to think about it this way as well. Like if you're in Philadelphia and you took a different turn, it's not even just an alley, it's a whole neighborhood of drug addicts and crime and homelessness. Like every nation has that. I think someone said something about like, oh, there was like a kidnapping or something in the Philippines, and I'm like, oh fuck, that sucks. But then like there's like news 2-3 days ago of a shooter in like some state. There's like a shooter in London, and then you find out another news that suddenly there's a guy that runs over Filipinos in Canada. There was a guy and then there was another guy that ran people in another parade. I forgot what state that was. They're like just trying to run over people, and then there's shootings in schools. Like you can't compare and contrast these things now, presently. Things are changing, and then you start to see like, okay, how's this gonna work, right? When you understand this like sense of like understanding that the narrative has been true in some aspects of the history. You can't deny history. That's one of the things the Philippines should be very pro. Never deny our history. Always be pro history, because the only way a nation grows is understanding how it grew. Right? To learn the mistakes. If you don't learn the mistakes, what's the point? We need to grow as a nation. I'm not thinking like, just like, oh, we're just gonna be like, okay. I'm thinking like we can create science. We can create an industry. We have what every nation wants. We're gonna get deep now. Right now, what I just told you, right, was the whole oil and finding that in the Scarborough Shoal and the Spratly Islands, and China's trying to own it, and the Philippines trying to own it. And then you start wondering like, okay, suddenly America's renovating their old bases, because in 92, here's another history fact. When you start understanding all of this history, so like in 92, what happened was the EDCA, it's like, I forget the acronym, I'll put it down here if I can find it. What happened in EDCA is that the Philippine president quit the EDCA contract or memorandum of some sort, which connected us with America, and America connected to the Philippines, where we had 5 bases in the Philippines right now, and it was like old bases, and so in 92, what happened was they had to cut all the bases. So when you watch videos of like American dad, suddenly has a kid in the Philippines, it's due to in this era. And because of that, in 92, all of the American forces left the Philippines. And because of that, you kind of get this. It's like, oh, something happened. So and so then you understand this, and it's just like, okay, so my whole growth, right, as a child in 90, that happened in 92. I think I started first grade in like 95, and the culture was already that sense of way where how Philippines was just portrayed in that sense because of the whole dictatorship with the whole martial law enactment, which hopefully that doesn't happen in America, with what happened in the Philippines, not extending presidential powers and such, because now we're such in good governance and um, understanding that his dad, who he was, but what this president is doing he's doing everything well, and he's doing what a president should be thinking about is their people and keeping us safe, and understanding that like suddenly America has. So you understand the whole 92, my growth of like understanding what the Philippines is, the disconnection from the Philippines and America, all of this hate about the Philippines, all about like the crime and the cutting of your hand if you stick your hand out, dirtiness, poverty, crime, right? All of this. This was during the time when America wasn't even connected to the Philippines. And now you're understanding like a couple years within, even I think even during the Biden administration, maybe as well with the I don't think with Obama, because in that era I think that was during Duterte and that was very China. But during Biden era it was Marcos, and he was very much very pro-American. And finally they find out, because like people can be allies and you can get like, oh, they're doing this for the well-being of a country, like, oh, we don't like it when countries are being bullied. But come on, let's just get real here. Let's get real here. When you do something nice for one country, you expect something back, right? That's just politics. Come on, we're not naive, right? Understanding suddenly we have trillions and trillions of dollars worth of oil and natural gas in the Philippines within the economic zones. And here's the other clincher. We also have rare earths. We have nickel. We have the other thing. Anyways, the main point is we have billions of reserves of rare earths. So we have oil, we have natural gas, and we have rare earths. These are what can create economies. This is what creates industry. This is what creates innovation. Because you can create battery like for EVs, and then you start to wonder, is Elon Musk actually investing into the Philippines? Because right now what's happening is Russia has oil, China has rare earths, and they're getting tight-lit for, I think, maybe BRICS. But then suddenly there's another nation that's understandable of now knowing that they have these natural resources within their economic zone by right, by law. And then you suddenly see nations like Japan. I mean, Japan is rightfully should be allied with us because of China, because of North Korea. We have this alignment that we have to protect ourselves, be allies to protect ourselves, each other, right? And as well as all ASEAN nations. But then you see Japan, the government of Japan, giving billions of dollars. Remember I told you about the whole infrastructure buildup? So a lot of that money is coming from Japan. And that's a lot of money, girl. That's a lot of money. And also with the Philippine government. And it's just like, the Philippine government's, I think GDP, it's like within the billions, like 300 some billions or something like that. I see things, shifts of change. Suddenly there's large proposals of investments into the Philippines because suddenly the 5 bases I was telling you, that's not just it, girl. These 5 bases are gonna get renovated as well as an additional 4 US bases scattered throughout the Philippines. So now there's gonna be 9 US bases that's gonna be up to code with, I'm talking about with technology, with radar, with everything. And the whole point of like, the whole situation is that America and the Philippines reenacted EDCA. And that started with Marcos and Biden, and Trump is all the way. Because then you start to think, after watching just the news and world news, not just American news. I watch like a lot of European news and Asian news. And then you start to think, okay, so America is telling Europe, we're not going to spend any more money on a European concern when you guys are first world nations. You guys have the the structure, you guys have the resources, you have Germany, you have France, you have, UK is gonna just automatically involved. Like, Poland, like that's like I think that's the third largest army in the world, I think, or something, with like military wise, like with people. And like, and there's Turkey there in reserve, right? Another strong like military power. You guys can handle Ukraine. And then you start to think like, okay, so Trump cuts that off financially, with Russia and the whole Ukraine war. And then suddenly you see billions of dollars. I'm assuming, I'm like, this is all assumptions and just analyzing, is like the money from that was supposed to go like to Ukraine and the fight for that, with all the money that was heading there. Suddenly they stop that, tell Europe, you guys are strong, you guys can handle it. And then they throw money to, guess where? The Philippines. Suddenly they're sending, it's not just these 9 new bases that they're putting money in. They have a contract of the trailway. There's going to be a new trailway, I think it's a city in Manila, in Luzon, the whole country. From this B, it's the letter B, I forgot. And then from there it goes to Manila, and then from Manila it goes to Clark. So they're trying to put like from a north to south train that's going to be for the public, but also for government use, for the American and Philippine government to use as well. And this is worth billions of dollars. The buildup of this railway, it's been approved, right? And from there, after all that money that America is setting up, the 4 new bases, they actually just caught, I think, some Chinese spies. It was just in the news, in Philippine news. They caught some spies that was trying to figure out where the new bases are or something. I don't know if that's public, or I guess it's not, because now that's what they're saying, that's the story. But anyways, so suddenly there's 9 new bases there. America's helping build as well the train stations. And why does this matter, right? It's like, it's big infrastructure. This is gonna connect Philippines with this and the other trains and highways and in other regions of the Philippines. They're all building that infrastructure, right? And you start to wonder, like, okay, so they're building this. They have 9 new bases, right? And Subic Bay is gonna be like the hub again. So the locals are excited because now business is gonna pick up there. Investments is Subic Bay. Clark Air Force Base is gonna be there. Cebu, the ports in Cebu is gonna be pretty big, I think. Yeah, so the buildup is the military is building up right now. You watch the news. It was kind of interesting that the Philippines did say no to the $15 billion purchase of, I think it was like 6 American fighter jets. They said no to it for now. I think that's what the Marcos administration did. Let's just continue with what we're doing. And what EDCA is, just a little FYI, it's like it's like this concept to make it okay for other world nations around the Philippines that, like, no, we're not setting up a base and having permanent US military in the Philippines. We're not going to be there. They're going to be in rotation with training. So basically, it's in rotation of US forces in the Philippines. And so China's just like, you can't just be like, oh, it's just because it's rotation, therefore you're not setting base there permanently with your forces because you're leaving and then a new one comes in. Like, it's the same thing. That's what China's saying. But the Philippines and, Japan and America is saying, No, it's trainings, right? It's all that stuff. But it comes back to the understanding that why should you question that? You know, why would you question that? A country should be able to defend themselves. That's their right as a sovereign nation. We have that right. So if we want our friends from America to come to the Philippines and, help us advance our military, and understanding that suddenly the U.S. ambassador from America just recently, like just this week or last week or something, the ninth year anniversary of the court case about the Spratly Islands and Scarborough Shoal. The ninth year that in international law, it is within Philippines' right to claim ownership of this area for their economic prosperity. This is our natural resources. Respect that. If you are part of this organization as in international court, you should respect the ruling of it. Otherwise, what's the point of you being a part of this organization, right? Like it doesn't make sense. But understanding now that suddenly America is there and they're saying, like, you know what, we're going to help this country. Understanding, knowing that there's like billions of gallons of oil and natural gas that now we don't really need to get maybe from Canada. Maybe that's one of the reasons why suddenly America's with the tariffs. They're getting that stuff now, maybe possibly from the Philippines, and then because the what's it called, the ambassador was just very pro, about the amendment. Like, you have to abide by international court. America stands by that, and anything happens, it will enact the treaty between the Philippines and America that if you do commit something to a citizen of the Philippines, or if you claim any more ownership or something, it will enact that the treaty. So it's a very contested waters right now, but I think they're moving along with it. Like, it's gonna happen eventually. And so when you start to understand this, okay, America's here, they want the oil as well. They want to use also the rare earths because China handles a lot of the rare earths and they're closed off, girl. But this one, suddenly Philippines has rare earths. They're gonna most likely get it from there. And that's one of the reasons why Elon Musk is there. So, you understand all this, but then you also have to realize the Philippine people are environmentally cautious about our lands and our waters and our waterfalls and the creatures that we are bound to protect, because by some great higher being, some great force, whatever God you believe in, because there's Christianity with the Catholics, and there's also our Muslim and brothers and sisters in devout areas. You have to respect everyone's religions, but for some God to give us a nation like the Philippines, to have these rich forests of nearly endangered species, from the biggest eagle in the world, as a bird of prey, a bird raptor prey, the biggest in the world, the Philippine eagle. It literally looks insane. The beaks is crazy, and it's only based in the Philippines. Suddenly, you see all of the whale sharks and sardine, the 1,000s of sardines swimming there, and the sea turtles and the forest and the waterfalls. All of these things that's so rich and beautiful. We also have an abundance of natural resources. We have oil now. We have gas. We need to extract that. Rare earths. But we need to be environmentally conscious of ensuring that these creatures and these forests that are housed by us, that we live in with them, we need to take care of them. And I know that the people there care about that. They're very environment, because you have to understand this as well. Philippines is within the ring of fire, right? It's within this area where it's like flooding and typhoons and, God forbid, like tsunamis and like earthquakes. This country is in a situation where it's very scary to live in when you don't have the funds, when you live in poverty, when you live in a slum area, when suddenly there's a natural disasters. Who do you think gets hurt first, right? It's the people in the slums, because the houses aren't raised. It's getting flooded, and then suddenly those people die, and I don't want to see a single person of anyone in the Philippines to die. I want them to be safe. I want them to be able to as industry grows, that suddenly, every Filipino is like, it's like middle class, I want to create change. I want to be a part of this new journey that I'm doing. And I'm doing this No More Poverty Pact. I want to create this sense of idea of like helping my people living in conditions that where one should never live in. I want our people to be strong, because that's what we are. We're so strong. We're so identifiably powerful. When I watch these videos, when I understand Labuong, there's no definition in our language of I or mine. We were always taught, we're brought up to respect, to always think us, and it's we, and we're gonna help each other. Come with us. Let's be prosperous together. And that's what made me fall in love with the Philippines now, and where the country is moving forward and build better more. The new thing, what the president said. And there's just, I think the Philippine President Marcos is going to Washington, I think this week, to talk to Trump, and I think he's there. It's not like an official visit, so there's no cameras or something. So it's happening. Something's happening in the Philippines. There's industry to be built, and I want to be part of what, I want to take what it is like to be American, what I learned in school and what I learned by my elders here with the Chamorros and the Rifalawash, to still have that idea of being respectful to your elders and be good to people, and in the American sense of being an entrepreneur and fighting the American dream, watching Shark Tank and being energized and a rush of like wanting to create industry. But then when you watch like Bernie Sanders or like AOC, and then they're talking about having corporations giving their fair share to the people, which I believe, like, that's what we were brought up, We were supposed to be brought up in the idea that from President Kennedy, from John F. Kennedy, when he said, I don't want America to be an idea of just military. I want America to be like, to be men and women wearing uniforms as Peace Corps, helping nations without food and water, and because we're so prosperous, we're the richest and the most strongest country, that we should be able to help other people. That was what America was, wasn't it? That's what we were brought up to learn, to always question what is right, what is wrong, the idea to debate and to be civil and to have an understanding and respecting one another still, understanding you're my brother, you're my sister, we can live in peace. That was the America that I grew up on living. Oh God, our history was all that, The history was built on coming in and let's welcome each other, because we were all not from here, So now I'm taking this American dream, and I want to take the things that I learned about that, the idea to be an entrepreneur and to create capitalism for good. I want to create a no more poverty pact where a lot of my vision for my company is, and I'm going to tell you the news once I set up the business license, because that's what I'm going to do, you guys. The initiative is to help my people, help my grandmother's people, my father's people, and to create jobs and to create, I want to have a vision where suddenly the Philippines has free education, has free healthcare, has free food, with food stamps, has free housing, has free transportation. If we can give all of that, my God, we're not just gonna be #1 economy in the world or we can reach that. We have the natural resources, you guys. We have the population that's young and hungry. We want to strive to be better. We want to strive to be successful. I'm committing in the sense of no more poverty. Where the lowest a Filipino citizen is middle class, who's still able to go vacation all over the country, from Palawan to Cebu to Baguio, visit all the countries, and that's the lowest income person. You can able to bring your family, be proud of your job, be able to create industry and to create entrepreneurship. And the #1 thing of that is our education, And the best thing about it, you guys, as we advance everything, when Trump is throwing away all of the smart scientists and educators leaving due to immigration, I hope the Philippines can invest in recruiting them. Come live in paradise, We'll give you these incentives. Come teach in our universities. Teach our kids to learn about AI and create and not be scared of AI. You have to think about AI as a sense of it's giving us answers. Okay? That's what AI is. It gives us answers in any format we want. But that we should use that. You know what I mean? We should use AI to suddenly build questions. When we find the answer through AI, then you start to question another thing to build knowledge, right? We use AI for our advantage and to build more industry. If you lose your job because of AI, exactly what your company, your ex-company that used that AI to eliminate not needing you as work to lessen the overhead, suddenly you can create your own. You can use that same thing that fired you, that what AI did, use that for your own benefit, and then start being an entrepreneur. Go for the dream that you wanted to do, There's so many people now that's they were financial analysts, and then finally they lost a job because of AI or something, like financial analysts or marketers or different office people. And suddenly it's what, my dream has always been to create gourmet food. And suddenly you use AI to market your production and everything in a way is an easy format, in an affordable format, so it's less overhead. Because that's what sucks everything in is the overhead costs. Businesses struggle as a first year business or something like that. As a small business, it's difficult, right? So so when you start to think about everything from the buildup of education and the country that's growing, and suddenly you have Poland and Lithuania, you have France and Germany signing memorandums to be what, we need to protect and help Philippines and say to the world that if you're supposed to abide by the law, we're backing this country because they won this resolution that this is their right, this is their lands, and suddenly these nations are backing it. Suddenly you understand that once we have this open access to understanding how to excavate environmentally conscious, when we excavate for rare earths, for the oils, sections and natural gas, we can start, build that. What I think what we should do, and I think what the government is doing too, rightfully, properly so, is using our natural resources, but not in the sense of extinguishing it in overusing it and selling it, but use it in a way where we can build innovation, where we can create green energy with the help of our natural resources and protect it as much as possible, but only use it when we need to create innovation to lessen the use of it. You know what I mean? If you can build that, that would be an insane milestone for any nation. When you can suddenly use oil or gas and rare earths, and with EVs and the power of technology, and build innovation with that to suddenly create better green energy to conserve energy with lessen the use of that just a little bit, just to create this innovation. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like it's a cycle. And for the Philippines, that's what they are. That's what they're doing. So I'm really proud of that, with what my nation is doing, with what my country is doing, and I want to be a part of a situation where, I want to know my people, and I think a lot of like Philams, like you guys, we are this generation to create an industry in the Philippines to understand our heritage again. And I'm gonna learn Tagalog. One of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna learn Tagalog. Um, and the thing is so one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a vlog. I'm gonna vlog my whole way through the Philippines, so all of you guys are gonna experience it. I'm gonna put it here in this channel. I'm gonna put it in my TikTok channel. I'm gonna put it in my Instagram. And I'm just gonna vlog my way through there while I'm even creating my businesses. You're gonna follow me creating my businesses, getting the business license to like my first food stall catering with the Yummy Land. I already have branding set up. I wanna start getting jobs, giving jobs for my kababayans. You guys, I'm gonna be coming home, I'm gonna be in Cebu, I'm gonna build industry there. And I wanna build more into it. I wanna clean up Philippines too. Like I wanna have this idea of recycling and manufacturing. Because now if we get control of the oil, we suddenly have an abundance of it, energy won't be like the issue. Because that's always been an issue with the Philippines, with manufacturing, was energy, was the cost of energy. But now with this new foundation of our natural resources, to use it for the country, to build industry, my goodness, it's like literally like the most perfect time to go there and start businesses there and to get a base there. You're building into the economy within the Philippines with a growing, developing nation that's in the right path to the world. Girl, I'm thinking space. I want the Philippines girl to be like the first one in Mars. I get Elon Musk wants to take our rare earths, but I want us to create our own. We should be able to create our own AI. Like, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm just like, I'm planning. This is my plan. This is like my goal. And I want to build this No More Poverty Pact. One of the goals for that is when I gain this wealth, when I said about Bernie Sanders and AOC, going back to that, is if I become to that much wealth, I want to give more than the percentage of what it is for, like, I think for income tax or corporate tax or whatever it is. I need to understand more about the Philippine structure. I'm still a bit ignorant on that, so I want to talk to a business attorney to set all of that up with the business license and stuff and permits, because I know now that they're very pro-business and the red tape is kind of like eliminated if you know what you're doing. So I'm excited for that, and you guys are gonna follow me. I'm gonna be vlogging about that. I'm also gonna be vlogging I'm also gonna be vlogging all throughout my adventures, through going to Mobile, going to Bohol, Sarga. I want to surf in the waters of Sarga. I want to see the little monkeys, the Philippine tangerine or whatever. These like loomers or something. They're like really tiny. I want to go there. I want to feel the waters. I want to swim with the whale sharks. You know, I want to swim in the, like, those birds that fly around and they all have like this unison. So that's the similar thing with sardines. So if when you're like, there's like a bazillion like sardines, and sometimes we create like a donut, and they're all like just like so many sardines, and they create a hole, and they're all swimming as one. Like it looks insane in the videos. If you guys check out the vlogs on YouTube, a lot of people show it. It's really crazy, and then they swim with sea turtles. I want to do that, and also want to do like eating sexy. So my first show is going to be living sexy with Valentina. So you're gonna watch me, living my life, my new life, and creating business, creating, just this foundation and this new journey of mine of understanding my culture, understanding my heritage, and to use that to build industry, like with the ingredients into my Yummyland, to use indigenous products, support local farmers and artisans. That's my goal. That's Yummyland's journey. That's really what the foundation is with Yummyland, to support local, to feel fun, but also like full and healthy. Parents love eating my tacos. Like my parents love to feed like kids my tacos because there's so much vegetables. And there's like this, this gourmet sense of it with my pea puree or like my roasted garlic aioli to like my roasted creamy sisig, pork sisig, girl. I'm gonna sell that like nobody's business. To like, I'm also gonna sell chicken Calaguan tacos. Whoever had that, I'm gonna be selling that in the Philippines. I'm gonna sell, so like, just the whole like taco section. And I have two other menus I'm so excited for it because it connects to culture and story of the culture, of the language, of the people, and give like this personal sense of like journey with culture and people and identities and a way of cooking and artisanship and farming and bringing it in an experience of that kind of story through food. And I'm creating that. That's my next Yummyland product, Yummyland Presents product. So I'm really excited for that. Oh my gosh, you guys, you have no idea. I'm gonna be like, I have plans for Yummyland. So like it's gonna be a manufacturing hub because I want to sell my tacos. Because as some of you guys know, like some of my tacos are like freezer usage. So like, it's supposed to be like you can, because I'm gonna have like my pink tent stalls is gonna be that. So it's like less on overhead on like rent and power. So I'm gonna start my business in Cebu. I'm gonna set up my first tent there with my sister. So I'm gonna be working with my sister. I'm so excited. I haven't seen her since I was like like sophomore year in high school. She moved back there, and so like I haven't seen her since then. I'm gonna be with her. So I'm really excited for that. Hopefully she's gonna say yes in creating the business with me, and like we can work together with Yummyland Presents. Like she's a passionate entrepreneur. It's exactly what I was telling you guys, that the people there are hungry. They want to be entrepreneurs, and like I'm just getting that from my sister's vibe as well. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah, there's just growth, So I'm gonna be showing you guys my tent. I'm gonna have one tent, I think, in Liloan, and then I'm gonna go to like um, what's that called? Cebu IT Park. I think that's where I'm gonna live. Like I want to set up another one there in the Cebu Mondo like street market. I forget what it's called. I probably said it wrong, but yeah, I wanna have a Yummyland tent there. Like I just want to like build my branding too. I have a uniform concept. Like I have a fun attitude with the pink tents. I'm gonna have catering focused on that as well. So like wherever we can go, we can do catering and just set up the tent. You know what I mean? I want to set up ourselves in the mall because the whole point with Yummyland is that like you can take it home with you. So like when you can order from like if you want to eat lunch in Yummyland, like you can also order more, and you can order like the frozen like the frozen part. So what we do is like we sell the frozen, like the meats and the tortillas frozen, and another section where it's going to be refrigerated, which is the slaw and the sauces. And so that's two packages you can buy, which is like the same price. People would buy, some people have actually bought, like they would buy one to eat now, and then they would order more for their lunch the next day. You know what I mean? Because all you have to do is microwave. So it's microwavable, and every condo has a microwave. It seems that's the case because all the vloggers that I've watched. So like all they do is just microwave. So I'm gonna create that, and I'm also gonna be selling my pet gourmet food. So I'm really excited about that because I know the Philippines is so pet friendly. Like literally you can bring your pets in the malls, the big ass beautiful malls with like Gucci, and suddenly your puppy or your cat is wearing like, you know, diapers. Like a lot of them are wearing diapers. It's so cute. But the Philippines is very pro animal, you know, we're very like, we love our animals. We love all of that. Like we think of them as our family, like they're our babies, literally. Like the Filipinos, they like their pets. They love their pets. Like they're like, they'll spend whatever they're gonna like, they'll die for their pets. It seems like, you know. And so like, so I want to sell my pet food there, and I'm actually gonna create an event. You guys are gonna know about it soon once I'm there, and I'm gonna start advertising it, and you guys are gonna join me. So like all my friends who are currently watching and understanding like where my journey is in life and being 36 and finally being just like, I need to live. I need to like not waste any more years and start like just innovating and just start like just create something for myself, but also create and also having like a purpose. You guys, like I want to do this, you know. I really want to, I want to help my people. I want to give the good side things of that I've learned here and bring to my people, and create jobs and create industries and build a basis where like suddenly like people that's like, you know, that's like other Filipinos in Canada or like in America, I know they also yearn to, I feel like we have like, we yearn for Philippines, you know. I feel like that's their disconnected touch. It's like our motherland is just like calling us and saying like, I miss you, you know. And it's like we're lost in that sense because we're all so far away, right? A lot of our people move out and like became OFWs, you know. I think that's a saying. and and we kind of like lost touch of who we were and how much like we care about our people and the nation that our ancestors were from, you know. But you know, it's gonna be part of my journey, and I want to die by it. Like I want to, like that's my purpose in life is to bring my people to outer space. You know, I want to be part of that journey. You know, I want us to go to outer space. I want to create us innovation where we're able to do that. We can go to Mars. You know, create industry, use the technologies that we have, use the natural resources that we have, smart, in a very smart way, and never harm our lands and our waters, the what God has given us, whatever higher being said the Filipinos will have this. You know. And there's hope, you guys. There's a sense of like, you know, there's good governance now. There's a sense of democracy, you know. There's this basis of just being like, we're gonna try to do good. We're not just gonna think about I, you know. We're gonna think about us and we, and that should always be the basis. Like that would be my basis in my journey, is to welcome culture, welcome language, welcome people, and understand the idea that people should be kind to one another. We can have a debate, we can have different perceptions, but we should always still be Filipino, the Filipino way. Labuong, you know, you have to be together. We should always strive to be together and to help each other. And that's gonna be my journey. That's what I want my companies. That's the that's the culture I want in my company. You know, in all its diversified planning that I want to do. I want to be in food, in creating indigenous food, and I love that passion of mine of cooking. You know, it's one of my bucket lists in life, and then also have manufacturing so other people can experience it and bring it around ASEAN and use that connection with that and build economy, build the industry, and then use AI and technology. And now suddenly the impoverished kids, right? Like the kids that doesn't really have that schooling can suddenly use AI. We suddenly have AI. We have like a giant step forward. Obviously understand the basics, but we can use technology, you guys. Now we can find the answers that fast. But what we need to do, our educators need to understand, is now we can build the idea to question, to build the curiosity. Because when you do that, that builds innovation. That builds, what if this is this, and why is this? Okay, so if this equation is that, then what if the biology of this, and where's the genetics of that? You know what I mean? And it answers it, and it continues to grow and starts gaining knowledge, and you're growing with it from biodiversity with soil. Like, I plan to be part of recycling. I want that as an industry, so I can use the trash that we have, like the abundance of trash that we have in the Philippines. You guys, we have like an abundance of Philippines, and I want to create an industry where I can use, paper, glass, and plastics, and waste. The waste, I'm going to use that waste for profit. I'm going to use that waste to bring industry in there. I want to bring that money through waste. Like, I'm going to turn that into composting, and I know an ingredient that would be really rich for it. I don't want to say anything yet. I'm excited because there's so many plans right now. So that's my goal. And when you have this purpose in life, when you have this journey, that suddenly it's just like, I miss my people, and I'm in there not just to build riches for me, but like give incentives where it enables jobs, it enables the idea of no more poverty pacts. The one of the things my plans are is, like, once I become wealthy, I want to own a section of land, and I'm calling it like a transitional home, and transfer the people in the slums to this transitional home. And what it is like, it's for free. They're gonna live in there for free. And what I'm gonna do is I want to build, I want to tear down the slums, and really, also really for safety, you guys, like, we need to build foundations where it protects our people living there from natural disasters. Like, they're the first ones that die because of it. Like with flooding, with earthquakes, we need foundation where they can live, so our people don't perish because of natural disasters. We need to be able to protect that. So I want to build homes for the people that were living there, and build maybe like a manufacturing plant or a tech hub where suddenly there's commerce, and there's an industry that's happening in this section of the slums where it's suddenly not. And while this is happening, while the buildup is there, the people that was in the slums, in the transitional homes, will have jobs to create the homes in that slum. So people are actually going to be working, making money. And if some people can't work, it's fine. It's going to be like we need to subsidize ways to find ways where if it's it's a grandmother and all she has is kids that obviously can't work, we need to find ways to ensure that they're going to be safe through this transition, because she will have a home in this new development, right? Where suddenly the economy within this establishment is subsidizing for her to have a free home, to have healthcare, to have food, to have transportation, because to have our people work, you need infrastructure. So that's one of my plans. And so while people are also working in the buildup of this development, they learn about learning about building, being construction, maybe learning about finance, maybe and using AI with that technology to further your education in trade schools and such. And so there's going to be jobs there in that development, and people are actually going to be working, and then also getting them ready for the jobs in the manufacturing plant that would be built there. So there's going to be such huge buildups because of nickel and all these rare earths and suddenly oil. There's going to be industries that's happening, and and then finally when this buildup is done, people here can move in there, right? And then after that, go to the next slum, to the next, and then to the next, to the point where suddenly people have jobs. People aren't are living a living wage. You know, it's suddenly, just being able to like not think about food, not think about home, not think about safety because of the weather. Like that's what I want. Like I want us to suddenly focus in the future. I want us to be like, we are a nation that's young, and we need to create. And one of the, what's so funny too is like I watched this a YouTube video from the father of Singapore. I don't know if you guys, some of them, if you guys know him. God, his name's like, I just call him Mr. Lee, but it's like Lee Hong Kyun or something like that. And when I first heard him talk, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it was some association in the Philippines asked him to come to the Philippines and to talk about the Philippines, and he was, and you garner respect of him because he was as honest and brutal as possible, you guys. And you guys watch it. You guys can watch that. It's searchable in YouTube. But basically, his whole gist of it was just like, he's saying like he hesitated to talk about the Philippines because it's like he's like frustrated because the nation should be at the same levels as them. Like the Philippines should have been like like Singapore, because during the 50s and the 60s, like Philippines was rising. It was becoming one of the I think one of the, like right below Japan. Like that's where Philippines was. Like we were like developing to that level. And during that time, like Singapore, and Mr. Lee was talking about, it's like, and Singapore was a land of swamps. It was a land of corruption, and finally they realized, we don't have the natural resources, we don't have these ways to like build our economy, but what we do have is a strong basis of our people. Invest in our people. And that's what Mr. Lee was saying. It's just like, they invested in their people, in education, in using their people to drive their economy. And now it's like one of the richest nations in the world. It's like probably the number one in ASEAN's there, and Indonesia, right? And Mr. Lee was saying, just like the thing with the Philippines is the only way the Philippines can get out of the hole that they're in is if they have good governance, when they root out corruption, when they build, this basis of government. Philippines is a young nation. Mr. Lee saying is just like, have good governance. So like, that's part of it, and what's happening right now. The second one is build infrastructure. To attain foreign investment, you need to have infrastructure. You need to have a basis where employees can get to work, where suddenly the power doesn't go off while you have a manufacturing plant. You need to have a way to like transport products from one area to another, to the shipping containment. Make sure that, that buildup is there, right? And I think the other one was, it was like similar to like build up or something, So, and it was just super interesting where he's just like, you guys need to get your head in order. That's basically what Mr. Lee was saying. But I think it was like further like, come on, you guys can do this. But understanding that you are a young nation, and you are a nation that you are able to be there, to be in the levels of Singapore, to be in the levels of Japan, to be a top economy. And now as we're heading there, improving ourselves in this way, because we are a young nation and we are learning as we go. We're only 70 something years old, you guys. 70 something years old. America is like 200 some years old. Spain that colonized us, I don't know how old they are. You guys tell me. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we're a nation that's learning, but then we're now moving in a path where it's positive, and suddenly there's hope, and if we continue with good governance, if we don't forget history and learn from it, if we use technology and build our education using that and to start debating and start questioning, but still be the Filipino way, the Filipino way to give. It's not I or me, it's we and it's us, and I think that's what we need to always remember and always to understand, to be respectful and to, similar to the Italians, I feel like that's what the Filipinos are. I feel like, we're very European in a sense, like the way we live, right? It's like we tend to we don't like like live, you need to, we don't live to work. Filipinos are they work to live, right? They work to be able to enjoy, to have meriendas and festivals and bringing the community together to talk, to eat, to sing karaoke, to laugh and to swim and enjoy life. So I'm doing that. That's what my goal is. I mean, I'm gonna go through ancestry.com as well. So while I'm finding the Philippines, tasting the different foods of all the areas of the Philippines, from the south, from the Palawan to Tawi-Tawi to Cebu to Manila to Siargao to Baguio. I want to experience everything, and I want to know my people. I want to experience the waters and feeling life there, and feeling and breathing the forests, and then seeing the top of mountains, and then the top parts of Cebu, and understanding history and the culture that developed, seeing the stone cobbled streets, and experience the food and the people, and meeting my family. And I'm going to go to my grandmother's, where she's resting, and my grandfather. I meet my family and, build that. This is my journey, now this is the beginning of my journey of finding who I am, finding my roots, and understanding who I am and my identity. I am a trans woman, but I love my people, and I love the land that we are on, understanding what I've lost, and my journey to find me, finding the teachings, what my grandmother taught me, what my mom has taught me, what my aunts have taught me, all my elders, so I'm finding this sense of you have a purpose now, you have this journey, and I'm excited for that. And the No More Poverty Pact, I'm going to be telling you guys all about the different initiatives that I'm implementing, that to the companies that I'm building. There's a lot of avenues and ways I'm gonna use that into the companies with my AI event. I'm actually it's a very exciting thing that I'm gonna offer to businesses that are struggling to find customers, because they're out of reach of connection or just communication, so I want to build industry in the way where I can help them and build me, so I can build the No More Poverty Pact with building these turning slums into a building, industry, and sustaining itself with that industry. And that's my goal. And I think if you invest in education and understanding your history and knowing who you are, and then knowing that you are Filipino, and that living the Filipino way is to give and to help, and live in a good governing world. Oh gosh, that's just a dream. So yeah, you guys, I'm gonna be doing my journey here. I am gonna be doing here. Watch this, you guys. Look at this. So I'm gonna be doing a live auction. So I'm gonna be selling my computer, everything, these sheets. I'm gonna sell all of that. I'm gonna sell all of this. I'm selling all of this. I'm selling this battery right here. I'm gonna do a live auction on Friday, night. So like if you guys are gonna go to your friend's house, you guys gonna get a little jinky jinky with your friends. And you guys just wanna like check out if you guys wanna buy any of my stuff. I'm gonna do a live auction. It's gonna be in a link below. So like just make sure the time and like get notified once I'm live. I'm gonna just do a live auction of everything, and whoever pays, doing the donation link, PayPal donation link, if you pay it, and I'm gonna set you guys up for it, and then you guys can just pick it up whenever, and then we'll message. So we're gonna do a live auction of everything in here, and then on Saturdays and Sunday we're gonna continue. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday we're gonna continue the live auction, and you guys can pick it up. My friend Hills is gonna help me. Hills a go to, love you girl. And so yeah, I'm gonna start this journey, you guys. If you guys want to continue like following me, like because I'm gonna do a lot of vlogging. I'm gonna do a lot of live streaming. Support me. There's gonna be a donation. A lot of the money, if you guys like from $1 to like, whatever amount, it's gonna go into my buildup of creating my business. So I'm gonna set up the business. So like building me starting, I'm gonna start my new life. I'm gonna sell all of my stuff, have the money, whatever I have. So like if you guys, all of this that you guys sell, thank you so much if you guys buy it. And also I'm going to sell a lot of sets, like my bar sets with like different glasses or like a shaker, different things. I have a school supply sets, so it's like notebooks and different pens and like all these things. I don't just sell one by one. I want to sell everything. But yeah, so like you guys can like send a donation at all. It's gonna go to like my tickets to like experiencing going to Molbol, going to Bohol, going to Sargao. So it's just like helping me fund my vlogging journey of finding like my culture, as well as like building industry. I'm gonna go to business license, and then it's basically gonna help fund that. I'm gonna help fund the like all my ingredients with Yummy Line Presents, and yeah, that's where all the money is gonna be going to. I'm gonna be just working and vlogging. So you guys will also get um, hopefully you guys can also support me in Patreon, and or Patreon. So if you just want to just do Patreon, I think it's only like $5 a month, and I'm gonna post my videos there first, and you guys get to experience it. I'm also gonna do my live chatting. I'm gonna do some live streaming on Patreon exclusively. So like people who are like my friends here, my family, and they want to like talk to me while I'm doing like my living sexy with Valentina. Basically, just like me walking around, or like me going to like, the business like attorneys, and like all of my journey. I'm gonna try to live stream. It's gonna be dependent on like how good the internet is and the Wi-Fi, but I'm still just gonna vlog and bring you guys with me, and I'm gonna do that through Patreon. And I think like after like a week, I'm gonna post it on YouTube. So like, supporting me to watch it first and to actually talk to me while I'm vlogging, living sexy with Valentine, like experiencing my life. On the daily, like I'm just gonna be like vlogging girl. I'm gonna be vlogging all over the place. I also need to get like an action camera, because like once I do canyoneering in Cebu, I need some action camera. I can't use my phone, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna be vlogging. And so yeah, the donations, a lot of that's gonna go to like my funding to do this new journey of mine. If any of you guys can help, that'd be great. If you guys can't, that's no worries. Just continue to like contact me on Facebook, and watch my YouTube videos. Subscribe if you'd like. But yeah, I'm just gonna bring my journey and my purpose and sell all of these things. And because after the whole situation, like I'm building my companies, and I'm understanding all the locations and the people and the food, and my culture and the language. Once I got that set up, I'm still gonna do the ancestry.com, and I'm gonna go to Spain. So I'm gonna go to Spain, and I'm going to find my what do you call it, my history there, like my ancestry, and like understand like where my people came from, like some sides, because I know there's some parts it's Chinese, but like I don't know, I don't think Filipinos should go to China right now with like how contested it is right now. So like I'm just going to Spain. So like because Philippines is so close, and like I'm gonna start my businesses there. So from Saipan, I'm gonna go to the Philippines, and once I'm there, I'm gonna start it up. All the things I'm gonna do, it's probably gonna take like a year and a half, or 2 or 3, like at least just to set a foundation and be like successful, to have money to then be able to go to Spain, to like experience Spain, and like find the history and the culture there because I really love Spanish, like architecture, all of the art, the music, the food. So I'm really excited because it's part of my blood. So I'm really excited to go to Spain, and then after that, I think I'm gonna go to Hawaii. Hopefully, it's not like crazy and like there's no like any like craziness that's happening with like currently with what's happening, right? So like I want to go to Hawaii and check out my dad and like go there and then also like experience like the Hawaiian way of life. And I mean it's most likely like similar to like what it is kind of like with Saipan with Chamorro, but it's Hawaiian and it's like I was kind of raised like that. So I'm really excited. It's very island folk. So yeah, I'm really excited. Patreon's gonna be there, so if you guys wanna, the link is below. So if you guys wanna support me and just watch my journey and my new life that I'm gonna be doing, it's gonna be first set up in Patreon, and the live streaming will be available only in Patreon. So you guys can talk to me while I'm vlogging, So only Patreon members can do that. So it's really just helping me find my businesses that I'm doing, my No More Poverty Pact initiatives for my businesses that I'm doing. I'm gonna like even like like go eat because like during living sexy, the whole concept of it is like just living my daily life, like just doing my businesses, and then also like walking around experiencing like, oh, this is BGC, this is this is the oldest Chinatown in Cebu. This is the farms in Mindanao, in Davao, right? I'm in the upper hills in the cold areas of Baguio. I want to like bring you guys there and have you guys also have a conversation with me. So that would be really cool. That's what I'm going to do with Patreon. So the link is there. If you guys support me, it's only like $5 a month or $10 a month or something. But yes, so it's there. All my friends in the States or here or anywhere in the world, if you guys want to help and support, that's where that's going to go to, is really to build my businesses, build the industry, and help people. And I'm excited for this journey, with this new purpose in life, and die by it, and really just believe in my people, and in my identity, and building, just build, right? Just build better, more. That's the Philippine president's slogan. But yeah, I can own land there. Like my business is gonna be 100% owned, mostly owned by me. A lot of it's gonna be like Yummy Land. I'm gonna offer something with my sister. Hopefully she's gonna say yes, and she can own some ownership in there because I'm also gonna have my pet food in Yummy Land. If you guys like ordered it, I'm gonna have pet food because I'm just excited. It's just like that's where all the funding is gonna be, from the donations to the monthly Patreon. It's just building me to build this, and to like, I'm just really excited, you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, a vlogger in the Philippines. We're gonna travel, you guys. We're gonna travel. This is my biggest thing, I've just been here in Saipan. I'm just been depressed because like things are just not great. Like you can't create industry here. There's nothing. Like there's no tourists. Like what are we gonna do? But then in America, it's just like everything is all like everything every day in the news. It's uncertainty, uncertainty, uncertainty. It's just like you want to invest in that, you know what I mean? And then suddenly you understand this other side of you, like the identity that you've always ignored, the identity that you always like believed in in a narrative that was like just a lot of it was just colored, right? Is just rhetoric of what Philippines is, but they don't know who Philippines is. And then suddenly I'm understanding that, and be like, oh, she watched it like as a foreigner. It's like, yeah, because I was raised that way. I was literally raised that way. I was literally in our house. We don't speak English. The food we ate was mostly American food, from pork chops to fried chicken. Like we rarely ate Filipino food. And whenever my mom did, we were like mindset on American, like McDonald's to like Wendy's when we had it. We barely didn't even go to Jollibee when it was here. You know what I mean? Like barely. Like it was just like, I'm excited to go to Jollibee, by the way. I'm so excited. But you know what I mean? Like we were conditioned to like think Philippines was just different. And I'm embracing it now to be like, welcome, to be like, I'm gonna open my mindset and like stop being ignorant, you know? Start understanding, start knowing. Cause like at the age of 36, like we only have one, guys, one life. Sexy people. We have one life. And then and then nothing. In the end of it all, what you build is who you are, right? And I've been lost. And I want to seek it out. I want to find my ancestry. I want to find my culture. I want to find my languages. I want to find people. I want to take Tagalog classes. I want to take Visaya classes. I want to take Spanish classes because it's so close to the Philippine language, you know? It's so like, you only have one life. I'm 36. I'm going to be 37 next year. And I told myself, I remember in my 20s, when we were just partying it up all the time, in my 20s, it's just like, if I'm 40 and I have nothing to show for it, I'm still here, or I'm still here and I'm not even creating anything, I'm just gonna like I'm gonna kill myself or something, you know, like something dramatic. But like, that was me. Like, I'm like that, you know, that Philippine tangerine lemur looks like a monkey with a big eyeballs. That's one of the endangered species, you know. I want to like I want to create farms. Like I want to have like use our, you know, just all these things. But yeah. Anyways, this is the news. I know I've consumed a lot of information. I looked into like different avenues and building my company as I'm looking into the news, and I'm just excited. Yeah, oh, like if there's anyone that has a donation for Miles, now I'm just gonna like push, and I'm excited for the future, and I'm I'm excited to talk to you guys while I'm there, you know? And if you guys are supporting me on Patreon, I'm gonna talk to you guys even more. Because if you guys are always there, I'm always gonna be vlogging. Literally, I'm gonna be shopping. So like my living sexy, from like walking to like in the Grab carts, like the Uber in Philippines, Grab. You guys will follow with me. I'm gonna have sections in Living Sexy where it's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go shopping for like clothes because you know I'm gonna sell a lot of my clothes. All my clothes are gonna be for sale. Like I'm gonna have a shopping sexy. Girl, I'm so excited for that one. I'm just gonna be like, you know, the sweetest thing when they had like a change of clothes montage in movies. I want to do that. So like, I'm excited for that. I'm gonna get my breasts there. I'm so excited, you guys. You guys, that's gonna be my donation, you guys. Literally, that's gonna be growth in me being a trans woman. I'm just gonna like get my breasts there. I'm really excited. But yeah, like I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be Valentina, and sky's the limit. You know, one life and the sky is the limit, and that's what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be my new journey. Be vlogging all the way to my first experience in an air freaking crazy plane. Like I'm so scared, but I'm excited. I think there's like an 8-hour like Narita thing, like hold up layover, and then I'm gonna go to Cebu with my sister. So yeah, I'm gonna set up the base there in the Philippines with a business. So yeah, I hope you guys help me support my Patreon. If you guys have any donations, that's gonna help me set up and establish my life in the Philippines. I'm gonna start my businesses and find an apartment. So I'm gonna live with my sister first and start my businesses while I'm living with her, and then understanding like the real estate in the Philippines, and like see where I'm gonna live. But I know I'm gonna set up shop in Liloan and also be in Cebu IT Park, because there's like this food court there at night that's, you know, it's money. I'm still setting up my prices kind of like American prices. It's like $3.50 for one taco, $3.75 for one taco, but it's like, you know, the gourmet tacos, the ones that have my tacos. You know what I'm talking about. So it's like $3.75. Two tacos, I think, is like $3.75. I think it's like $7 or something like that. And then if you buy a meal, it's gonna be $10. You get two tacos, and you get a full drink and a full, like half full corn elote Whereas and then I'm gonna create this other thing called the smiley meal. And the smiley meal is gonna have one taco. It's gonna have it's gonna have a mini drink, my basil lemonada drink. It's gonna be smaller, like for kids, but also for people that are just not that hungry, and then a half of that half elote, so they can taste like some creaminess of the Philippine corn. And I'm using that as with the indigenous corn and the indigenous bactan, and then like some herbs into the tea. I'm gonna use honey, Philippine honey in my tea. So I'm using natural honey from the Philippines into the tea. So I'm using local products. I'm also gonna be farming. I mean, like not farming. I'm gonna be buying farmer markets instead of like the big stores. So like I'm gonna be supporting local. That's one of the things I'm gonna do with Yummy-Land. I'm gonna go and support like the locals, find like different flavors and vegetables and meats, and from there, if I need something that they don't have, like something, I don't know, but I'm gonna go to like maybe Robinson's or like some supermarket to get the rest. But I'm gonna focus on supporting local, supporting indigenous products from the Philippines, like the honey, and to help farmers, because that's very artisanal. I want to start buying Philippine salts. Salt, I didn't realize, is kind of like wine. It can be different flavors. It can be like shitty salt, like the iodines and stuff, or you can get like artisanal salts, which is kind of more expensive, but then it's because it's a dying industry. And we need to revamp our culture. We need to revamp our heritage on how to make salt making. Like there's this one that's like dinosaur egg salts. It looks insane. It looks amazing. There's another salt that's like cubes and it's like fat and it's like mixed with like coconut milk. Like, oh my gosh, I want to use that. I want to use that into the business, so then like other people can taste it and then experience it themselves and then start supporting local, and I believe our Filipinos, Kababayans, want that, and we're hungry for it. And ASEAN, because ASEAN has a sense of like connecting each other, and I want to build that. I have further plans with ASEAN. I'm so excited to talk about it. I don't want to do it yet until I have the established businesses in there, so no one can like copy it. So I'm really excited. I have so many plans. There's so many industries that we can create right now in the Philippines because there's good governance. There's a built-up infrastructure that could be finished by like 2030 to 2028, and that's like only a few years. But to start investing, right? To start investing into starting that build-up, because then you could be in the pre-game. Because once that game starts, it's going to be expensive. So now's the time to build industry. I'm telling you, I'm even going to go into stocks. With the current infrastructure buildup with America and Japan, and Singapore. There's so many investments from Singapore. Girl, I'm researching. I've done the research and I'm doing more because there's so many underlying things and so many things are changing. Like the news with the U.S. ambassador about China that's saying like what the resolution is from the International Court of The Hague. The arbitrary ruling is final. We live in a court of law. If you say no, then you are not abiding by the court of law, which all nations should abide to live in harmony, right? And and if like one like it, and it, it's like they don't listen to this one court ruling, but suddenly that same nation that isn't listening to that ruling is suddenly as well like setting up like lawsuits to America about tariff. It's like, okay, so suddenly you're not abiding by this side of the court of law, but then you're making lawsuits in another court of law that's against you as well. So you're like, you know what I mean? It's like that, like you can't be this and then not do this. If you believe in the court of law, then you're supposed to abide by the court of law. So it's just like really insane right now, but it's developing, and that's what I'm saying. It's like news is developing right now, and the Philippines this is the time. And I'm calling like to all the other people, like help me be part of this No More Poverty Pact, to build your company and to build industry with that mindset, with that kind of culture, to build the Filipino way. People are going to be like, oh, I want to live like the Filipino way. I want to live to the idea where it's not just I or me, but it's about we and us. That in life, we should live, we should live, we should work to live, right? We should work to live life, not work, not live to work. We should not be like grinding and while slowly dying. We should enjoy life. Every Filipino should be able to go to every part of our nation, to be able to like go this, and this with their families every single year, to experience the Philippines. Sometimes of these vlog videos, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going here. Have you been there? They ask a Filipino wait staff or someone in service. And they'd be like, oh no, I never. And it's like, she's Filipina, and it's or Filipino, and it's like, our people should be able to have the funds to do that, to have connection, right, with infrastructure. So the future is being built right now. And and if there's Filipino Americans out there that want to be back home, they want to feel home again, to see the old streets of the oldest Chinatown in the world is in Cebu. Like, can you imagine the food scene in there? I'm gonna be vlogging all of that. I am so excited for it, like living. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe and do my Patreon, do a donation. And on Friday, we will be having a live auction. So I hope to see you guys there, and I love you all my friends, far and wide. It's gonna be a very new journey for me, and it's finding me, and I cannot wait. Possibilities are endless. I'm gonna be doing films there. There's a place called Eastwood, similar to Hollywood, because it's the East, Southeast Asia. But it's Eastwood, and the city is nice, girl. The tall buildings. I mean, I can't even imagine the party scenes, but that's where you meet the executives. They'll go out, they'll go to these nice places, and Valentina is gonna go. So, so you have to communicate. I mean, hello, you guys know me. I'm a social butterfly. Not gonna deny it. But yeah, Philippines, get ready, girl. And cinema, it's not a goodbye. It's I'll see you later. I've been here for 31 years, right? And I'm finally just gonna move. Like, I'm just gonna start living and start industries, and yeah. All right, I'm gonna go, yeah, so Philippines, Spain, Hawaii. That's the plan. Whew, I'm excited. I'll see you guys later. And I'll see you guys on the group, on the live chat. I mean, live auction sale. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. And Filipinos, I love you.